Hi, Jonathan here from CBD Blogger, and today I'm with Charlotte and Norman from Little Rick. So I wanted to find out a little bit about what's the Little Rick's all about and how you got to where you are today. So take it away.
What's the easy version of this? So we started Little Rick in 2018-2019, where we first came out with one flavour. That became quite quickly a cult favourite, so we decided to make some more flavours. So by 2019 we ended up having 4 or 5 flavours. We're just a drinks company. We look getting a high strength CBD onto the market. We thought that before that there wasn't many high strength drinks, so we thought we'd take that place and be the high strength drink. What that meant was we had to make our own CBD, because it's expensive to buy it from other people.
So can you just tell me what qualifies as actual high strength in CBD in a drink?
Well, to be honest, if you look at the FSA, right, they are recommending up to 70 milligrams per day, and our drinks have 32 milligrams. So you can imagine you have 2 drinks. A lot of the other drinks in the market have maybe 10 milligrams. Some of them have even 2. So that's more like a gimmick when you have maybe 2 milligrams in a drink, whereas when you have 32 milligrams, you've got a really good dose. 2 cans would be your daily allowance, and you don't need to drink endless amount of cans to get your CBD. So,
yeah. And is this a sort of CBD that's in the sort of more relaxation thing or more the energizing thing? Maybe I should ask Norman that.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to stay away from the whole energizing theme. We don't think we want to compete with somebody like Red Bull. Our products are full spectrum, and we do think that it does give kind of a relaxing effect. Not in a way that you zone out or anything, but it helps with concentration and focus. But yeah.
And where currently are you selling the products?
So we're mostly selling online. That's been our business since COVID anyway, just growing the business online. littlerick.co.uk. But we've actually recently hired a salesman within the last 2 months, and he started going out to shops to get us into more retailers, because there is demand out there to be in shops. We just don't know, we've never known before how to get ourselves into that position. And, hopefully we'll get into some supermarkets at some point as well.
And you briefly mentioned about, producing the CBD yourself. I mean, obviously, because you get the sense, obviously, CBD is often associated with oils and things like that. Yeah. How are you getting your CBD into the drink?
Super interesting. So Norman, I should say, I should give him the credit for it, realised that actually a lot of people are buying CBD emulsions from other people, and that kind of extra step when you don't produce it yourself costs a lot of money, right? There's obviously, everyone wants their margin. But for us, we wanted to make it ourselves, so we take oil, we have special machinery that we invested in, and we emulse it into water ourselves with gum arabic, and essentially we use that in our drinks. So we have full control over everything that we put into our drinks. We know where it comes from, we produce it with the consistency the same every single time, and it just means that the costs are much lower. So even though we're a high strength drink, we're still competitive on the price, so that's really important for us. We don't want to be charging £6 a can because we've bought from somebody else. We just make it ourselves. Yeah.
No, I mean, it is a real interesting thing as we've started to look around the CBD market. It's trying to get a sense of a lot of the products are reasonably high priced, and the question is that down to the cost of more material or just opportunity cost because it's relatively new? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a mix of everything. One, there wasn't proper regulation, so there's like kind of a grey zone. So it means that some of the major players aren't there, and as it's a grey zone, you can't market it properly. People add on extra margin for those costs. The next step is it's quite a new technology, so some of the supply chains haven't been built up. The example here being water-soluble CBD, there's not a huge volume that was there prior to CBD that was creating that water-soluble CBD. It's quite energy intensive, so you need to build up the machinery, the factories that can be able to support that, and that will bring down the cost eventually as well.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing, it being a relatively new market, there's no real economies of scale knocking around for anyone. So what are the flavours you've actually got here?
Oh, awesome. So I'll take you through. So we actually have 4 of our 5 flavours here today. The original flavour was raspberry coconut, which is, it's funnily enough, we didn't really know what we were doing in the beginning, and we bought a flavour from a company that sells flavours, essentially. So we bought raspberry coconut syrup, or whatever you'd like to call it, and essentially used that to make our first drink. And then we thought, okay, now we've grown a bit, we'll make our own recipes. So we actually remade the raspberry coconut as a raspberry lemonade, And we've used fruit juice for our next 3 flavors: raspberry lemonade, piña, which is like a piña colada, and mint and lime, which is like a mojito. So they're all kind of cocktail-based flavors. But then our cult favorite came back because everyone started complaining that we'd got rid of our original recipe. So then now we have 2 raspberry recipes on the market, but we can't change what we've got now because the FSA say you can't change anything. So we've got 2 raspberry flavors, 1 mint and lime, and 1 piña, which is like piña colada, and then a cola flavor with caffeine. We don't have it here today, but that's our kind of energizing daytime drink as well. Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, you were here yesterday for the trade day. Today's a sort of a public day, so give me lots of taste testing. What was the feedback from yesterday? Is there one of the flavors that's coming out on top?
It's so funny. People have really different tastes. It's either super sweet or super fresh, isn't it?
Yeah, so mint and lime is inspired by mojito. It's a little bit more sour.
I think that.
Yeah. Well, something like raspberry lemon piña or even the raspberry coconut is more for a sweet tooth. So it really depends on the area. Down in Devon, we mint and lime does quite well. Well, like up north, more than some of the sweeter flavors, like Scotland.
Scotland, Glasgow, Edinburgh. Love the raspberry coconut original recipe, and we think it's just because it's the sweetest one. They love Iron Brew, don't they? So it's got to be something to do with that. I think they're brought up with the sweetness.
Fabulous. Well, thanks very much indeed for that. I mean, really fascinating what you're doing here. Wish you every success over the coming day, weeks, months, and thanks for taking the time to chat to us.
Thanks, Jonathan. Nice to meet you.